Good evening, and welcome to my channel, Positivity in Motion. I am Victoria, and I come to you on Sunday evenings, typically sharing tips with you that I hope will help kickstart you into having a fantastic week. I'd like to personally thank you for stopping into my channel this evening. If you are one of those who have been with me from the beginning, I appreciate you very much, as well as the newcomers. Thank you for popping in as well. Don't forget, if you hear something that you like, to hit the share with friends and relatives, as well as share, subscribe, and like button. Hit those buttons for me, okay? So tonight we're going to be discussing and continue the discussion on establishing meaningful relationships after 60. I say after 60 because I'm over 60, but these strategies can really be used for any age. So just keep that in mind. I did do some research though, again this week, and I found that the percentage of people who are 60 and over, this particular one is targeted 65 and older, is at 17.3% of the US total population. That included a 31.9 million women and 25.9 million men. And that 17.3% is anticipated to increase by 2040 to 22%. So we're living longer, people, and healthier, which is good. Now, dating in our 60s offer many advantages. It really does, including you can still establish deep connections, you can increase your self-assurance, and have a fresh start. Yeah. And many find that they can be more authentic in themselves and less pressured, which we've covered in other videos, than in younger years, focusing on companionship and shared interests. And then there's the continued exploration of personal interests and hobbies for enriching experiences. All sounds great, doesn't it? I think it does. But what's the real tea? What's the tea? I'm going to share from my experience that I've faced in dating. And I'm finding that it's not much different than when I was younger. I do understand that I'm only one person, but I do also understand that it is pretty typical. Over 60 people, again, we're faced with this thing that they call the time factor, like many faced in their younger years when they were like, you got to get married. You know you're not getting younger. And we hear the same thing at 60 and over. When you're going to find somebody, you know you're not getting any younger. And I just don't subscribe to that at all. I don't agree to that perspective. There's not a time factor. I believe that every day we have an opportunity for love when we live. If you're living, you have opportunity for love. And that age should not be the primary factor. We should not be boxed in a category because of our age. So therefore, I am going to continue to approach this thing called dating with a little caution. So those 60 and over, I do agree that there are certain dynamics that we do need to be mindful of, but it's still very similar to what we were used to. So what should you do? What should you do? Male and female. Now, I know it's personal. It's personal for me and it's personal for you as well. But I can share my thoughts, good, bad, or indifference. I can share my thoughts. And after spending several months dating, I found it to be exhausting to play games. I believe in being clear. If I'm interested, I say so. If I'm not, I don't lead anyone on. However, that is not how things often go in the real world. So with that in mind, we have to protect ourselves. We have to protect ourselves. It is not wrong for us to now learn to prioritize ourselves. And with that, I've decided to step back just a little bit. Now, previously I mentioned in another video that there are 3 types of relationships, and of course there are many more. This is just what I use for that particular module. I said there are acquaintances, friends, and partners that sometimes lead to marriage. Looking at that, I'm not sure if that is realistic today. It's not as simple as 1, 2, 3. Many of us now can handle most things on our own. Gentlemen can do many things that was somewhat considered domestic, and women can do many things that were considered out of our league as well. So, what we have to do then, we have to consider, what are we looking for when we're talking about partnership, dating, acquaintances, friends? We have to determine what it is that we're looking for, because many of us have different values placed on each one of those terms. The one that I find most challenging is when we say that we want to be friends. Do you really want to be friends, or are you hoping for something more, like friends with benefits? Simple activities, even like going to a movie or having dinner, can make things a little confusing. It's hard to manage these emotions, and things can get complicated. For women in particular, being emotional beings, there have been studies on that, so don't give me any flack on that. There have been studies that we are considered emotional beings. And men who often mean what they say. If they say that you're in the friend zone, it can be tough to change that, right? Even if you want something more, once a man puts you in that zone, it's likely you'll stay there. So your mind, you're like, yeah, let's be friends. And then all of a sudden things start going awry for you. But the gentleman is still focused because he said what he meant and he meant what he said. And then there's the aspect of the excitement of getting dressed and going out. All of that can be fun, right? But right now for me, it's just a little too much. Just a little too much. So I'm going to follow the advice for me from a very wise gentleman that I know. And he shared with me, he said, I've known you for a very long time, and I've never seen you struggle to attract a man. Focus on yourself. Read your Bible, keep up with your hobbies, and trust that God will send you what you need at the right time. Wow, that was like a gut punch for me. That was really a hard hit. I felt a little bit embarrassed because I've always trusted God without question. So why did this issue of dating and relationships make me feel like I needed to take control? I don't know, but it was true. So again, I'm stepping back and trying to align my expectations with what God's will is. I do have high expectations for a partner, but I also need to accept that there may not be one. And I must learn to take care, appreciate, and respect myself, just as I would if I would for a partner. Really, even better. One caution that I have for us who are 60 and over, though, whether male or female, is that we not let society or others make us feel lesser because we don't fit their module of what they consider to be PYT, pretty young thing, or the man with the six pack, or whatever it is that you might want to coin it. Because the body does go through some changes as we get older. We know that. But what we need to recognize is that we might not attract someone that we like. We have to accept that. But we should always bring our best self to the table. Every day we should show up and enjoy life to its fullest. We should give the best and expect the best and not hold back. I don't believe in holding back. There's a lot of talk out there about that as well. You have to know who it is that you're dealing with, and you have to know your boundaries. And you have to set firm boundaries and stick with those boundaries and trust your intuition. But for me, again, I'm going to take that gentleman's advice. I am going to get more into me, if that's possible, because I'm pretty into me, and do things that make me happy. And if in those activities I come across someone and we hit it off pretty good, great. And if not, I might have to just take care of myself. If you have any comments on that, I encourage you to please, please, please put comments and give me topics too that I can speak on that can help not only myself, not only you, but all of us. Because like I shared in the beginning of the video, we are growing in mass numbers. We're not getting smaller, we're increasing. I think that's exciting. I think love is exciting. I think life is exciting. But live it till its fullest and don't let anyone tell you what you are not capable of. Know your worth. That's all I had for tonight. So I hope you wake up every day knowing that you are unique, you are beautiful, you are courageous. You can have any and everything that you want on this side of life. Put your mind to it. Find out what your purpose is and get on it. Thank you for stopping in tonight, and I look forward to visiting with you next week. Peace and love.